As we navigate life's challenges, it's natural to wonder if God is truly capable of handling even the most daunting tasks. In fact, this question is at the heart of one of the most iconic declarations in Scripture. The Bible reminds us that nothing, yes, nothing, is too hard for our loving Father. Jeremiah 32:17. But what does this mean exactly? Can we really trust God to work out even the most seemingly impossible situations? Today, we'll explore some of the Bible's wisest teachings on this very topic. From the stories of biblical heroes who faced incredible obstacles to the reassuring promises of Scripture, we'll delve into the heart of what it means to have a God who can handle anything. We'll look at how faith and perseverance are key components in trusting God with our most pressing concerns. We'll also examine some of the ways in which He has worked miraculously throughout history, often using ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results. As we journey through this topic together, I invite you to keep an open heart and mind. Let's allow the Bible's wisdom to shape our understanding of God's power and His love for us. Biblical context and key passages as we delve into this topic. It's essential to understand where the phrase, "Is there anything too hard for God?" originates in Scripture. The book of Jeremiah, specifically Jeremiah 32:17, serves as a powerful foundation for our discussion. In this passage, the prophet Jeremiah affirms that God is all-powerful and capable of doing immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine. This declaration sets the tone for a deeper exploration of God's character and abilities. It reminds us that His power is not limited by our circumstances or understanding. In fact, it highlights that He often uses ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results. Another significant passage that reinforces this idea is Isaiah 41:10, where we're encouraged not to be afraid or dismayed, because God is with us and will strengthen our hearts as we put our trust in Him. This verse serves as a poignant reminder of the importance of faith and perseverance when facing seemingly insurmountable challenges. These passages, along with others throughout Scripture, emphasize that God's power knows no bounds. He can handle even the most daunting tasks, often using them to bring about good for those who trust in Him. As we continue our exploration, keep these key verses in mind and reflect on how they might apply to your life. Jeremiah 32:17, Isaiah 41. The Bible's wisdom teaches us that trusting God requires faith, perseverance, and a willingness to lean into the unknown. It's not always easy, but it's through this process of trust that we can come to understand and experience the depth of His power. Meaning and key themes. The concept of God being able to handle anything is deeply rooted in Scripture, emphasizing that His power knows no bounds. In Jeremiah 32:17, the prophet affirms that God can do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine. This declaration speaks directly to our question of whether there's anything too hard for God. It suggests that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges, God's power is not limited by our circumstances or understanding. God's character is often described as a mix of strength and gentleness, capable of both creation and redemption. This dichotomy highlights His ability to work through difficult situations in ways we might not expect. In Isaiah 40:1, the prophet encourages us not to be afraid or dismayed, because God is with us and will strengthen our hearts as we put our trust in Him. This verse underscores the importance of faith and perseverance when facing challenges that seem too great to overcome. The Bible's emphasis on God's power and ability to handle anything serves as a powerful reminder of His love for us. It encourages us to trust in His goodness, even when we can't see what's ahead or understand why things are happening the way they are. This trust is not always easy to maintain, especially when faced with difficult circumstances. However, it's through this process of trust that we come to understand and experience the depth of God's power in our lives. Practical application today. So how do we practically apply these biblical truths to our daily lives? For one, it means recognizing that our limitations are not a reflection of God's capabilities. Rather, they serve as opportunities for Him to demonstrate His power and love in ways we might not have anticipated. When facing seemingly insurmountable challenges, it's essential to remember that faith is not about having all the answers or understanding how things will work out. It's about trusting in God's goodness and character, even when we can't see what's ahead. Practical application also involves being willing to step out of our comfort zones and trust in God's ability to handle whatever comes next. This may involve taking risks, facing fears head-on, or embracing uncertainty with faith and confidence. Ultimately, trusting God means recognizing that His power is not limited by our circumstances or understanding. It means leaning into the unknown with faith and perseverance, knowing that He is always working for our good. Faith is about trusting in God's goodness and character, even when we can't see what's ahead. Practical application involves recognizing our limitations as opportunities for God to demonstrate His power and love. Conclusion: as we've explored throughout this series, the Bible is clear that nothing, yes, nothing, is too hard for our loving Father. Jeremiah 32:17. In fact, He can do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine. This truth should bring us immense comfort and confidence in the face of life's challenges. It reminds us that God's power knows no bounds, and He is always working for our good. As you navigate your own journey, remember to trust in His goodness and character. Don't be afraid to lean into the unknown with faith and perseverance, for it's through this process of trust that we come to understand and experience the depth of God's power in our lives.